How's it going, everyone? Want to cover a pretty interesting interview that Famitsu had with Jim Ryan. A lot of information and notable information coming out of that interview, and there is a Google translated version on Reset Era. Obviously, Google translation can be a little bit janky, but we'll dissect it, and I'll give you guys my opinions on everything. A lot of interesting topics were covered, so let's just talk about all of it. I want to first of all cover his talk on Spider-Man 2's PlayStation 5 development. This is, I would say, the most anticipated game on the PlayStation 5 this year. I know a lot of you guys are heavy on Final Fantasy 16. I feel like the hype for Spider-Man 2 is bigger than that. Final Fantasy is still I'm not gonna say niche, because it's definitely not niche, but Spider-Man is a whole different beast in my opinion. But PlayStation Studios, again, dropping Spider-Man 2 in 2023. Probably a September release window. We'll know more next week. Ryan noted, I'm sure Marvel Spider-Man 2 will be a very exciting launch because Marvel Spider-Man released on PS4 is the touchstone. The title was a huge success on PS4 and was enjoyed by millions of users. That and God of War in 2018 just crushed sales numbers. I remember both titles were just doing monster numbers at that time. The sequel, Marvel Spider-Man 2, is being developed exclusively for PlayStation 5. So yes, came out the same year, Spider-Man 1 as God of War 2018, but Spider-Man 2 is moving on to just being a PlayStation 5 exclusive, where God of War Ragnarok was obviously a cross-gen title. The developers have made no compromises. We asked them to focus on maximizing the functions of the PlayStation 5 and creating the best works. As a result, we've received feedback from game fans that it looks like they'll be able to enjoy a really beautiful visuals and a wonderful experience. I mean, I'm expecting pretty big things out of Spider-Man 2. Insomniac is an incredibly talented studio. I love Spider-Man 2018. I completed another playthrough of that not too long ago when the PC version came out, and loved it on there as well. Did all the DLC, and it was just a great time. I love Spider-Man 2018. Did it have some shortcomings? Sure, but if they took the foundation they set with Spider-Man 2018 and they build on that and do something really compelling with Spider-Man 2 as a true PS5 exclusive, it's gonna be, I don't want to say a contender for Game of the Year just because I think Zelda's locked that up at this point, but it'll be up there as far as the best games of the year. Obviously, this interview was with Famitsu, so he spoke a little bit about the importance of the Japan market. Ryan noted the Japanese market has been and will continue to be one of the most important markets. The reason for this is, of course, that the Japanese market is the second largest in the world, but more important than simple statistics is that Japan is the birthplace of PlayStation. In addition, there are many employees in Japan, and the fact that SIE is made possible by their activities is also a major point that emphasizes the Japanese market. Also, Japan is an integral part of PS culture and is one of the central countries, so I think it's very special and important to be able to transmit in Japan within the PlayStation brand there is. There's another reason why the Japan market is so important. That's because many of the famous titles were born in Japan, including Final Fantasy, Monster Hunter, Tekken, to name a few. Continued, it is to send out games that are highly compatible with the Japanese market. Elden Ring, RE4, Monster Hunter Rise, Wild Hearts have already been released on PS5. These games were born in Japan and was released in Japan. It is very encouraging to see titles being created in Japan. You also noted Final Fantasy 16 and Street Fighter 6 on the horizon, which will both be important launches. Although PlayStation Studios' AAA titles have sold over 10 to 20 million units worldwide, sales in Japan often remain relatively small. That was said by Famitsu. Ryan noted every market, not just Japan, has its own characteristics. That's why there is a difference between the market where the same title can sell and the market where it doesn't. He noted Ghost of Tsushima did sell 1 million units in Japan, and that's a really impressive number. Among the PlayStation Studios' upcoming announced games, Jim Ryan also points out to Rise of the Rōnin, that is showing that they can offer studios serious marketing and publishing support. Remember that Rise of the Rōnin is a Team Ninja developed game, and it's going to have some sort of PlayStation 5 exclusivity. Looks like this is very akin to the style of exclusivity that they had with Nioh. Nioh was ultimately released on PC down the line, but it never got an Xbox release. I would imagine something similar with Rise of the Rōnin, where it has a PlayStation release right out the gate. Maybe a year, 16 months later, it'll get a PC release, and who knows if an Xbox release will ever happen. He also noted the success and failures of PSVR 2. PSVR 2 has just been launched, so it may be a little too early to judge popularity, but we're happy to see many positive reactions from users and the media. I just listed some of the compatible titles, but more than 40 titles have been released around the launch of PSVR 2. In addition, many titles ahead in 2023 and beyond, we will continue to push forward so that those who purchase VR2 can enjoy it for a long time. And you know what? PlayStation in the past, it has been pretty obvious to see that sometimes they get heavy into a new piece of hardware and they'll only support it for a little bit, whether it be their portable platform release like a PSP or a PS Vita, especially the PS Vita, man. It looked like they had a lot of support behind that for a little bit and then just fell off a cliff after a little while. PlayStation Move had support for a little bit, fell off a damn cliff after a while. So it's nice to see that with VR. Yes, it's not for everybody. It's not for me, to be perfectly honest. It's very expensive. I don't like wearing a headset all the time, and it's just like, it's not my cup of tea right now. When it becomes more comfortable, easy to use, and I get it, VR2 definitely broke a lot of the barriers. It's not as a horrific wiring mess as VR1 was, and the technology is incredible, and it can create some very immersive experiences, but it's just not something I personally want to delve into right now. Maybe in the future, as more and more, you know, software is released, but right now, it's not my cup of tea, and I feel like a lot of you guys feel the same way. Some people are super into it, and if you're gonna release a piece of hardware for $500+ and, you know, there are people that are buying it, you gotta support it. You can't just, you know, expect just the third parties. You gotta support the third parties. You gotta do in-house first-party titles, and they have done that, to be fair. Lastly, Jim Ryan did speak a little bit about PC ports, and Ryan noted, yes, we will be proactive about it. We also understand the importance of PS5 exclusive titles. As I mentioned earlier, PlayStation Studios' main responsibility is to have people enjoy the game experience using the latest PlayStation. We are increasing the number of PS5 exclusives and staggering the release of the PC version. They often have the opportunity to ask game fans for their opinions, and when I ask them about the time lag, they say that selling the PC version 2 or 3 years after the release of the PlayStation version is accepted favorably, and, you know, there are, that's what they're gonna keep doing. I personally don't agree with that, honestly. I would be all for games just coming out the same day on all platforms. I understand why you might want to wait, you know, there's a part of it where they want to make PlayStation the platform they play on, but ultimately after a little while, after you've extracted all the value out of a game, you know, selling it on PlayStation, monetizing it as best you can on there, then you can release it on PC, charge a premium for it, and then generate a lot more revenue, and these games are expensive to develop, so you do want to make a lot of money on your software sales, and I get the idea of using a Spider-Man 2 to sell PlayStation 5 consoles. Yes, the investment is heavy, but that money is going to come in on the back end when they have a PlayStation 5. That's going to open the door for PlayStation Plus subscriptions. That's going to open the door, if that's the game that got them to buy a PS5, to buy other PlayStation software, and it's just a perpetual cycle of generating a lot of revenue. It's you can't have such a tunnel vision about why a game is exclusive, even if it is limiting sales in the you know, in the short term by not releasing it on PC right away. But there's a bigger game that they are playing here. Microsoft and Sony very much right now are playing two different games. They both are console sellers, but Microsoft is more about Game Pass and selling you that subscription service and offering you a variety of different ways to play. Sony is kind of like that, you know. They are offering games on Plus Extra, but not as deep into it as Game Pass is. They're offering games on PC, but there's that staggered release, whereas Xbox, you're releasing games day and date, and you guys get the idea. Like, what I expect is titles like a Ghost of Tsushima 1. That'll be released on PC. Maybe Ratchet Rift Apart. That'll be released on PC. Horizon Forbidden West in early 2024. That'll be released on PC. But I don't think anytime in the near future we're going to be getting, let's say, Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 5 and PC on the same day. I think we're a long ways away from that, if that'll ever happen. But we'll see how that turns out. You know, some of the PC releases have been super successful, like a Spider-Man, like a God of War, Horizon, but there's been others like a Sackboy: A Big Adventure and Uncharted: A Legacy Thieves Collection. Those games didn't do as well, so it hasn't been slam dunk home run. But given the investment to port a game to PC versus, you know, how much money you're making off it, it's obviously incredibly profitable for them to do so. So I foresee it happening for the foreseeable future, but at the same time, I don't see day-and-date releases happening. But that'll do it for me. Again, a lot of information coming from this Famitsu interview with Jim Ryan. Read the transcript for yourself if you're interested. A lot to take away from it, but that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.